I'm not coming early enough for that to be happening.
Well, the problem is it just keeps raining every weekend.
Yeah,
Is this the first time we've closed the town office for voting?
it is.
I think that was a brilliant
That I'm
idea.
aware of. I
We
mean,
do the
we,
same thing last year, it was like 14 consecutive weekends.
Yeah.
It was last year,
14 weekends of rain, but it was a lot more rain this year.
which is all right to me, because I've worked every weekend, so.
don't think you're missing the boat?
I'm like, well,
Yeah.
it sucks out anyway. And then we'll go.
Does your wife know how many candid terrible pictures of her you take this every
And then I send them to her too, and she's like, you send people those pictures? Yeah, just to screw it in.
Open in new
Nobody
tab.
ever says that.
Boom. Open in new tab. Done.
I should do the same to me.
I know.
Oh, did she put in the solid waste committee meeting? Look at that. We have solid waste committee meeting minutes. That's been a struggle, but we got them.
Are we good? Evening, it's 6:30 in Readfield, Maine. Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for joining our regularly scheduled meeting. Tonight is June 8th. And first off tonight, we have item 26099, the minutes from our meeting of May 18th.
I think I read them. So I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous. Next item is 26100, warrants 47 through 50. Is this your last one, Dave?
Oh, it's my last one or my
Nope.
first one? All right, 47. We had $2,227.95 to Central Maine Technology. I'm assuming that's more of the ongoing transition and updates to.
plus some ongoing costs for maintenance.
$2,000 to Dave Ledoux, our assessor, $3,000 to Dirigo Assessing for reval, correct? The $3,000 for the reval. $3,250 to Stevenson Solutions for some tree work and one of the cemeteries, correct? And then we had 8 separate entries for a total of $13,571.56 to Waste Management for various tipping and hauling fees. That's about the highlight of 47. Do you want to do the other one as well, or do you want to approve that first?
I'll make a motion to approve warrants 47 and 8 in the total amount of $73,348.59 as presented.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That's unanimous. Next.
All right. Next one, we had $1,965 to Election Systems for obvious reasons for tomorrow. We had $68,129.11 to GCA login for the recent ditching and culvert repairs. $371,618.11. There are regular RSU payment and $7,647.88 for health insurance on 8 different counts. That's about it.
I'll make a motion to approve warrants 49 and 50 in the amount of $533,644.46 as presented.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That's unanimous.
Was that our last payment to the RSU on the current schedule?
Should be, yeah.
Yeah.
That'll last until the next one.
Well, what, we should have a different amount.
Right. Oh, yeah, true.
Just a little bit higher.
Okay, next on our agenda is communications. First off, we have select board communications. Any member of the board have anything they need to share tonight?
I'll share that we're all eating cake because we're thanking Angelica for several years of doing select board minutes for us as secretary, for a job well done. And her new replacement, whose name I still can't remember, Mel, is here, so we can make you cake, you don't have to leave.
Once a month, whatever.
Thanks, Catherine.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Okay. All right, Eric, I don't want to take anything out. I was going to say something, but it's in your town manager.
I'll take it,
report, so-
say it, I won't say it.
No, I was just, Catherine has already said it too, but I think it's really great that the town office is closed tomorrow for election day. I think it's a hard day for all the staff, and I think it makes sense to not try to split us up covering two buildings. And so I know you're trying it out for the year, but I imagine that's going to be a benefit to a lot of folks. So glad you're doing it.
Let you know how it goes.
Yeah, we'll hear later in the week,
Much later.
much later.
Okay, next up, we have town manager and treasurer reports.
Okay, so it is a little bit early in the month for me to have that treasurer's report done. I was hoping to, but not available yet, but it'll be there on the 28th. So I do just have my town manager's report, which is a little bit longer than usual, but I'll
Just shorten the meeting 3 minutes.
I'll just cruise right through. I've been updating personnel documents, and one of the primary ones was the job descriptions for our youth employees, folks under the age of 18, because we have been honing in on trying to make sure that we are fully compliant with labor laws and the differences between what 16 and 17-year-olds can do versus what a 14 or 15-year-old can do. Pretty important. We haven't had any issues, but I just wanted to make sure that we had all that in writing, especially because we're working with outside agencies more now, and they want to see all of that stuff in writing. So good for them, good for us. The CEO transition is moving into its final stages. I'm pulling Angelica a little bit more away from the desk, and that's good thing and a bad thing. Mel is definitely having to catch up, and she is coming in more consistently as well and doing a fantastic job. The budget is in its final stages here. We've got just a few weeks left. We are trying to make sure that if we need to spend money to meet goals that were established, that we do that. If we need to tap the brakes and get some relief from spending in certain areas so we can stay under budget, we're doing that. The important thing is that we're not just spending down the budget. The staff, the committees are all aware of that. So this is a year that I think I've really had a good result in having end of year spending be what it should be, which is those things I just mentioned. Kristen has everything under control for Tuesday as expected. And as you noted, we're closed, so I'll say it again. Sometimes repetition helps. The town office will be closed to the public tomorrow. We will have staff back and forth to pick up ballots and maybe attend to a few matters, but for the most part, we'll be up at the Elmont. Community services and programming.
Eric, just a quick
Yeah, go
question.
ahead.
You do have a pizza, like a sign that you put outside. Pizza.
Sandwich.
Sandwich.
Are you
Strike that from the minutes. Can we do have a sandwich sign that will say voting is at Alphon?
Yep,
Thank you.
We've had that in years past, and we'll have it again. Yeah. With the note that we're closed.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So,
Eric, you're probably going to be around here tomorrow, right?
I'll be back and forth. Yep, I'll be in and out.
But you're not usually part of the town office being open, really, anyway.
Not directly. I'm not,
Right.
The counter is the biggest change.
Exactly.
For residents. That's
Right.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So moving on to community programming, we faced some challenges with our rec sports this spring, but we always do our best to learn from any kind of difficulties we have, and I think we're moving forward constructively. And the idea here is that we're doing it with the best interests of the program and the kids in mind. Same thing we're doing with the employment paperwork, making sure that we are following the rules. The Fairgrounds Group has met a few times, and they're planning a series of events to recruit volunteers and fundraise. I want to shout out to Hannah and Jen and Greg Leinbach for doing so much work to help move that along. And then Lee and I met, talked with the ambulance folks about Winthrop's planning and how they're going to move ahead. And what they're looking at doing now is they want to get a new ambulance to replace one of their old ambulances. And they're putting us on the docket with that request, but also with the request that we add a truck to the Readfield station 12 to 16, 12 hours a day minimum, basically. And that's a little bit of an uneasy thing for me and Lee, trying to, we want to see service improve, but we aren't necessarily excited about having it on. At the same time, there's a request for new equipment because it might draw that connection that, well, we need the new ambulance because these people are looking for more money or more service, and it's going to cost the town of Winthrop more money. But in the end, there's really no way out of this other than meeting and talking directly with the Winthrop Council. So they did ask, and I will ask the board to have a couple board members, if not more, attend that meeting on July 27th so we can have a showing and talk about how important ambulance service is for the town of Readfield, how we are not getting the service we used to. Acknowledge that we are now paying more, and we probably weren't paying everything we should have in the past, but that was not our decision, that was their decision. Regardless, we have an opportunity that we didn't have before to talk to the Winthrop Council about getting that service extended, and I hope to get some board support for that physically on site in Winthrop.
So the 12-hour a day in Readfield, that's the thing we talked about previously that wouldn't be happening for a full year?
Yes, that's correct. The
But getting a new there is a new ambulance, doesn't have to be new. There will be an additional ambulance purchased for that whole switch so that there's a fleet of 3, correct?
Well, there's already a fleet of 4, and what they have the money. They have most of the money in the bank. They will have almost all the money in the bank once July 1 comes around, or in theory, and we all pay in our capital obligation
Right.
that they've now assessed us, which is fine.
Right.
Or it would be fine if we were getting the same service as other member towns. We're not, but we're not a member town, so I guess that's a better way
Okay.
to look at it.
So they will have 5 ambulances if we expand service.
Well, no, they'll still have 4. They'll be retiring one of the 4 that they currently have. And so they're looking for us to support the purchase because they want to strengthen the service overall by having one more newer ambulance. Instead of having one that's 20 years old, they'll have one that's, 1.
So if it all works out and we get the additional coverage a year from July 1st,
Yep.
there will not be another ambulance being purchased at that time?
No, they would purchase it sometime in August, September, I expect, of this year.
In
True.
addition to the one they want now?
No, so
I'm missing
what
something.
they have, here's the thing, they have enough ambulances to staff at our facility. They
Not
just
enough
choose
people.
not to.
Oh, okay.
They have enough staff to do it. They just choose not to. What they are looking
Okay.
to do is to improve their inventory
Okay,
by putting in a new ambulance, and they want us to help support that.
okay. So they're counting on this all working out.
And
The
more
town
money from
manager is, yes, and the service, the
Okay.
chief is also.
now taking this opportunity to
Kind of
have
a-
another ambulance here to then go, we can buy a new one.
Right.
Which is
Obviously,
better for all of us in the end.
Update their equipment with our money. Right. So-
Using Eric's formula for other services we have in town, they are now using it against us. And
No, it's for our
implementing,
benefit, Sean. You know
implementing
that.
opportinities to grow themselves.
Don't mind paying our fair share, but
Correct.
the rub still is that we're not getting the same service. We're paying the same formula as Winthrop and getting, in some
Less.
cases, a third of the, 3 times the response time. And that's not okay.
Right. But we decided we didn't want to push for asking for it sooner because a year to implement seemed more reasonable.
Absolutely, and it lines up with the budget, and it hopefully will give their council time to adapt to that thinking.
So the goal for us meeting with them on the 27th is just to reiterate the position we took at our last meeting?
Absolutely.
Okay,
And throw in support for a new ambulance if you think it's a good idea, which, you know,
why not?
seems like a good idea. It's part of, now that they have a capital plan, it's right there. Yeah. Also, they borrowed that from us too. So.
Yes, thank you, Eric. And thank you for explaining it to me, being thick.
Sure, well, no, it's,
Until you see the price for the way.
yeah, the new ambulance is, I think, close to 400,000.
Yeah.
380, I think, is what they were looking at, 390.
Means it'll get you there faster, right?
We can only hope. All right, so I'm gonna get back on track here, guys. So we received
We
the
just
news,
lost our 3 minutes.
that, actually, gotta go up here. Dave's Appliance, so we are getting quotes to retrofit, a lot of the, heat and cooling infrastructure in the building. As we talked about briefly at the last meeting, we have, disjointed services. We've got heating and cooling that are not connected, and different parts of the building work in different ways. We want to have a comprehensive approach. We also will be reaching out, as Jaron suggested, to other vendors to get pricing as well. So that's all ongoing. We received news that DOT budget and work plan don't work out. They're not able to pay for all the work they had wanted to do for various reasons that we're not going to get into. But our sidewalk project is on hold because they essentially said they won't fund anything that's not in construction until they know exactly what's going on with their finances. It doesn't mean the project's not going to happen. We're in queue. It just means we might have to wait for the money to come up, either from federal or state sources. Good news is that it's not going to happen likely at the same time as the fairgrounds project, so I'm a little bit grateful for that. Let's see, road sweeping is ongoing and should be finished this week. And the town maintenance staff did attend a touch a truck event at the elementary school, which by all accounts the kids loved, but the teachers had a hard time with it because the sirens were going off for 2 hours straight. So we're going to look at that and talk to the principal about how we might do that a little bit different next time, or maybe do it in a different spot. But anyway, or maybe on a weekend. But it was quite popular for the kids.
Mel's dogs loved it.
Yeah. And the horses next door and all of them. All right, technology and communications. So we're close to being able to retire our server and backup devices. We had set the end of this fiscal year, and I think we're just going to squeak in under that timeline. And hopefully the new equipment that we're going to get will allow for better access and not be so much of a hurdle when it comes to having outside services connect with our network. I think that makes, I say that right, Jaron?
Close
Okay.
enough.
All right. I have purchased
Enough for these months.
I'd believe it.
have purchased the last 2 sets of monitors, and those are for the CEO and assessing desk. So we're very much on track to spend the money that we put in to get new hardware and equipment. We could probably squeeze in another PC if we wanted to, but I think we're pretty good on that because we've had a lot of overages in other areas, particularly the actual service side of this stuff. And then I wanted to point out that we I'm proud of the staff. We had phishing emails come in from the RSU and from another town, and nobody got into it. So that was good. I was proud of that. Moving on to transfer station, we made a hire for the full-time position. We're very excited about that. The guy's been around his last job for 25 years. We're hoping to have a lot of continuity going forward. And I want to welcome Mark to the transfer station staff.
He's really nice.
Good.
He fits in great so far, from my experience.
I'm glad to hear it.
Great job,
Yeah.
Mark.
So Teresa and I are also working on transfer station tonnages analysis and other things for EcoMaine, but also to look at the Mount Vernon possibility. That is a bit more precarious than we thought it was originally as far as the financials go. Also, Mount Vernon might not be that excited about it either, because I guess they don't, it's a pretty geographically spread out community, so they've got their own internal politics. So just wanted to give you an update that things are moving, they're just moving slowly. We should be meeting with them again this week to have a bit more of a detailed discussion and see if there's any kind of collaboration. It doesn't necessarily mean that we would have to have everything at the Readfield transfer station. We might be able to collaborate on services or on contracts. And there's things that we could do to help each other. So we're looking at this more broadly than just them joining us type of proposition. So, and then we're finishing preparations for the annual household hazardous waste collection. That was my other meeting tonight. We had our pre-planning meeting, and the hazardous waste collection will be July 12th from 9 to noon. July 12th, 9 to noon. It's a Sunday. And we are requiring registration in advance, as we have for the past several years. So we'll have forms available this week, and those forms again are required to be completed and submitted before the event so we can prepare for what's coming. And moving on, that's the end of it.
Thank you very much, Eric. Does anyone have any questions for Eric? Excellent. Next, could we have the cemetery sexton report? When you didn't get up quickly, Karen, I was wondering what else you were here for.
Well, I'm here for this. I'm here for that, or for the cemetery sexton report, but thank you.
Okay.
I don't have the agenda, so I apologize. Anyways, hello. Let's see, it's been a couple months since I was here, I think last 2 or 3 months, so I just thought maybe I'm going to go over a couple things that I've already talked about, but we've had so far this year, we've had 3 burials take place. We've got 4 pending that are actually scheduled, and those 4 will be within the next few weeks that will be taking place. The maintenance crew, as Eric talked about, they got the cemeteries all cleaned up and mowed for Memorial Day, and in my opinion, as one who used to do the mowing myself, they did a fabulous job. I'm really impressed. We got a lot of compliments. Hopefully you all have heard good things about it too. The cemetery committee put out all the flags for the veterans, and those are out, and they'll be out until Veterans Day, November 11th. If any of them get kind of ratty during the season, then they get replaced, and new ones go out until that date. So the town, just continues to honor their veterans. Let's see, talked earlier, Dave mentioned in the budget or the warrant, that there were some tree costs, and there were 2 different jobs that had been done. We had trees removed around Huntoon Cemetery, which is, most people don't even know, it's way out in the woods there. And we had quite a few trees removed and dropped in Kennebec Land Trust property. They allowed us to drop them without removing them. So we were able to get it done quite economically. And in my opinion, it restores that cemetery back to the way it probably looked a couple 100 years ago when it first became a cemetery. It wasn't in the woods then. We're all fields and everything. So it's kind of nice from that, historical perspective. We also had 2 maples taken down from Readfield Corner Cemetery. So those are done, and I'm going to put some loam down and get some seeding done around where the stumps were ground for that. We're continuing on with the East Readfield stone cleaning, East Readfield Cemetery stone cleaning. That's in progress too, again, now that the weather is getting a little bit better. And in future, I don't know if Eric has addressed this with you folks or not. I don't always watch the meetings, but there's some discussion about Case Cemetery out on, Route 17, Main Street heading into Manchester. There's some talk there about trying to restore that and making the grounds a little bit better. I don't know if any of you have driven by there and looked, but we've got such a crabgrass and I don't know what kind of grub infestation or whatever, but in my opinion, it looks kind of like the dead are trying to claw their way out. So it'd be nice to maybe make that cemetery look a little bit better. So I'm trying to get some estimates on doing some loaming and hydro seeding with that, for that too. But that obviously would be in future. And that's pretty much what's been going on lately. Any questions from you folks on that?
I have one. I don't want to blindside Rebecca, but she and I had talked about helping out the cemetery committee with
Oh, yeah.
digitizing some stuff.
Oh.
And so we should probably get started doing something on that since we haven't yet this year. Dave did all
Like
his
with the
stuff with the
mapping?
snowplow contract. Yeah, with the mapping and stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah, great, good idea.
if that's,
Whatever I can do to help you.
well, we should probably talk to you because we have no idea what you need and where you want to head with it. And if we can figure that out and see what the committee has already done and wants to do, then we can come back to the select board and say, hey, here's what they need, or here's what they don't need, and we can just help or whatever. Yeah.
Sure. Great, be happy to do that. Just,
Okay.
let me know your convenience, as they say, and
Okay,
we'll go from there. Great, thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Appreciate the support too. We all do. The cemetery committee especially.
Thank you. So next we have boards, committee, commissions, and departments. We thank the age-friendly committee, library board of trustees, and the solid waste and recycling committee for getting those minutes into us. And I understand, Jackie, I'm guessing you're here to talk about the library request to accept and expend additional revenue. If you don't mind joining up top there.
Hi, Jackie Druin, Chair of the Library Board. I don't like doing this. I know everybody, but still.
you're doing great.
And I want to say that the cemetery looks great. I've been there and it looks really, really nice. So my issue is that the library received an unanticipated donation of $1,000 from the Winthrop Rotary Club. And they wanted us to use that money for literacy purposes. And the donation was made when they dissolved the club. Don't know why they gave it to us, but we're glad they did. And but it makes us over on budget donations, donation budget. And I'm here to ask you if we can use that money for literacy purposes.
Is that the policy, Eric? They have to ask us for that?
Generally, yeah, especially with something that's kind of outside the norm. It'd be similar to when they apply for a grant that's outside the norm, so. And the auditors love to see it, makes them very happy.
Jackie, do you guys have an idea of like what you want to do? Like, is there something
Buy books.
that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I know that was very, I know that was a very simple question. I just wanted to make sure that's
You know what? No, I think the idea is that we'll buy books.
some current, something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
So,
Find
I mean-
more books than you had planned.
yeah.
I would make a motion to allow the library to accept the recent $1,000 donation and to spend it for literacy.
Second. I have a motion and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That was nice and easy, Jackie. Thanks for
Yeah,
joining us.
thank you. I appreciate it.
So does that mean Winthrop Rotary has dissolved? Huh,
Yeah.
I was thinking of ways to keep you up there for another 10 minutes, but.
but he really wants to go home early, so he's not gonna do that.
Yeah, kind of weighing it out. Worth it, yeah.
That was really nice of Winthrop to do that.
Yeah, that's
It's,
nice.
it's such an awesome library that they wanted to share with you. It's great.
I mean, they have a great library too.
Yeah,
Okay, next up on the agenda is public communication. Any members of the public willing to speak online?
did you want to mention that we had an animal control report? It came in, it's in
Oh,
our
sorry.
We
packet.
did slide over that.
Oh, it wasn't on the agenda. I am only looking through the agenda.
Yeah, that was my fault. I had,
Thank you, Catherine.
wasn't sure I was gonna get it, so I didn't put it on the agenda, but it came through, so.
Just that we had a report, so thank you,
Oh,
Lee,
thank
for
you.
having a report.
Yes, thank you, Lee, for submitting the report that I have not read yet, but will read. Public communication, any person online willing to speak, because the two people that were here just left. All right. Thank you very much. Item 26101, consider any action related to executive session, which we have none. Correct? Okay,
Correct.
excellent. Item 26102, discuss security systems at municipal buildings.
All right, so I included two memos and a letter in the packet here. I actually had added Matt Seam's memo this
Yeah, I like that.
afternoon, which really does, I think we took similar approaches, but he actually did a great job supplementing what I had put in summary form. And so the long story short is that we've had issues with the building security here at Guile Hall. I don't want to go into too many details because it's security stuff, but basically it's not working quite the way it was supposed to. We had cold weather issues that really exacerbated some problems. And the equipment's basically 35 years old. Some of it's been updated, but it's very old equipment. Not only the equipment's changed, but the technology. We do have, I think, really good opportunity to look at cloud-based security that benefits in a few different ways. It's really good for video, but it's also good for monitoring and communication, scheduling, all those things. We started looking at this in part because of the issues we had this winter, but also concurrent with that, the company we used to work with, Seco Security, sold out to a larger company, Pi Barker, and they're terrible, flat out terrible. Their customer service is lousy. They were throwing parts at issues rather than diagnosing them. It cost us thousands of dollars on unnecessary equipment when the issue was something else, and they should have known better. So I've been very disappointed with that. Matt's been very disappointed. Matt's been the guy that's having to wait for them to show up, just for them not to show up, and then call us 2 days later and say, yeah, we're going to be in 2 weeks. And literally those types of issues, it's terrible. So I'll stop with that and just say, with those things coming together, the equipment being older, the service being terrible, and then also us thinking a little bit more about the broader picture and the fact that we can and should have more security at some of our other public buildings, it made sense for us to take a different approach than just continue on. Unfortunately, we have an agreement with was Seacoast, now Pi Barker. They're terrible, but they're not necessarily in breach of contract, so we have 2 years left on that. I believe, and Matt believes, the best approach for us is to look at a cloud-based system that is a high-end type commercial that meets the requirements that our insurance providers have for security and meets our own standards and expectations for access and service. And if we can install that ourselves, as many homeowners and businesses do, that might be a win for us, because if we, if we need to replace a part, we can replace a part. And a lot of this stuff, again, is cloud-based. Sometimes there are vendors that will offer supplemental service. We heard from a few. One was Verkada, and they were very, very active in trying to communicate with us, but their services really would be more than what we need, I think. But anyway, Matt included some background information on the vendors that we did talk with, and our approach is recommended approach is to work over the next couple of years to identify a product and perhaps a service provider to support it that is better than what we've got now and can be deployed town-wide to all of our municipal buildings. And we can have access and control and notifications that are all in one spot that meet our needs. And so we would be doing that as well as budgeting for that, because this stuff's not inexpensive. I would expect it could be $10,000, $20,000 worth of investment, but money well spent if it helps resolve or prevent issues that might arise either at the transfer station or here or at the library or the fire station, any of those places.
I have 2 questions.
Go ahead.
Catherine, go ahead.
No.
My first question is it, without telling detail, are there concerns that should stop us from just doubling down on what we could have by getting something new and in place and having it prepared so that we are trying it and we work out those kinks while we have another backup? That's question 1. And question 2 is, and part of this conversation we have had about other services in town, including phone,
Mm.
that is tied to security systems and looking to change our phone system so there's more connectivity between these different buildings as well. How does that play in? So those are my two thoughts that I
Sure.
quickly think of.
Short answer to the first one, no, there's nothing that's a crisis, nothing that's an existential threat or the heat alarms and the, main burglary alarms are still working. We just had issues where the vault might stop working, for example. You have to go through the main building to get to the vault, so it's not a crisis, but
Mhm.
it's that kind of issue. And it was failing to communicate and emailing me or calling me at 2 a.m, and I got upset with that. But
Fair.
it was every day, and I said, "Can't you guys just come and fix this?" And it was weeks before they even sent someone out, and that's where we started with this kind of
Mhm.
rolling issue. But so the short answer is no. Nothing's a crisis. And then the other piece is that they're two similarly situated services, but they're entirely separate. So they'd both be cloud-based. We'd have cloud-based voice over IP, and we would have cloud-based security. They would very likely be standalone. There might be somebody that could aggregate them. By the time we get to
I
that
wasn't
level,
really
I
worried
think
about
we're,
them being together. I
yeah,
just meant,
yeah. Okay.
aren't we keeping phone lines kind of for security purposes as well?
No, because the fiber optic internet we have is as reliable or more so than the copper lines. So it's really not a difference, and we have backup power. So as far as that goes, we're
Perfect.
actually better off with fiber.
I have two as well.
Sure.
There's a service that several people I know use. It's Cunningham Security.
Mhm.
I think they're down in Portland Way.
That would be great if you could get me some contact or.
Yeah, you can
I'll
look,
get them.
they're right online.
Okay, great.
It may, Mel could make a note.
No.
And then what is our current, approximately, what do we currently spend for whatever security we have?
We are probably around 500 to 800 a month.
So six,
And that's for
16,
the town,
10,000 a
town
year.
office, the fire station's a little bit more. Not individually, but you add a little bit more on for the fire station.
Okay. So this pricing isn't, I mean, it's more, but it's like more than double, isn't it?
So we have two issues with a new system. You have the upfront cost for the equipment, and then you have the ongoing service costs. I expect that both of those will be less if we go to a commercial grade service with the new technology. So the Verkada folks, they were, they've got cameras that go from a couple $100 a piece to thousands. I think that we want to avoid getting too far into one of these sole proprietor type solutions if it costs a lot of money. Verkada is a kind of a closed ecosystem, and they're really more for, I think, in my view, police and high security situations. Farmington was paying something like $8,000 for a camera that can pan and tilt and cover all four parts of an intersection where they've had problems. And everything's accessible, and they can have AI that will pick out over the last 30 days a guy with a red jacket carrying a bag and a mustache. They showed me this. It's amazing. We don't need that. It's also kind of scary, but
Yeah.
We'll go with all of that. Okay, thanks.
but scope-wise, we just need to make sure we find the right scope and don't overspend.
And currently, we don't have anything at the library?
All we have is a chime system
Right.
that notifies them when someone opens a door or is moving in a room on the second floor.
But it's not like what we have here.
It's not like what we have here, no.
You may want to consider looking into a firewall company, since we're gonna be in that vein already. You may want to just look at what they offer services. I did look at them briefly. They offer, sounds like a lot of what you're talking about.
Good, no, that's really good to know, Jerry.
And Jaren would probably be happy to help you with that.
I would be happy to help you with that, yes.
While we're on it, did you get a good vibe from the gateway or firewall?
I don't know how much in the weeds you want me to go into it. I'm mostly indifferent on it. Cause I think it's overkill for what we need. And it's kind of a old school thing of when you had a server, you wanted a firewall. Our server's going offline, so what's gonna happen is phishing is gonna be what happened, and a firewall doesn't stop phishing. You know, that's staff training of don't respond to that. So I'm kind of indifferent on it. If the cost is relatively low, then
I think it was 400, something like that.
yeah, then,
46.
you know, it's
A
worth
year?
a few $100, but
Just flat.
it's worth a few $100 for sure. But I'm mostly indifferent on it.
Okay, sure. Well,
But if we're gonna use their firewall, we're already gonna use their software package and we're gonna use their cloud. We should at least look at the other offerings where we want security cameras, we want security systems. Just makes one less app on a phone for something to worry about.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's a good idea.
Okay, item 26-103, consider the first reading of policy on game officials and compensation.
Okay, so this relates to those issues that I mentioned in my report. In short, there was confusion around what or how to pay game officials. We had taken the position that we needed to follow labor law and not just give money to people at the plate. That happens regularly, but I was very strongly aware that that was not the right way to do it. We had a few things happen that complicated that situation. We had refs that were unhappy. We had a few things that didn't go very well, including a game where the ref may have been influenced by a negative email from someone managing the referee league. I don't need to get into all the details, but long story short,
It was messy.
We wanted to clarify what we expected of people that are serving our kids, first of all, and also what we do to make sure that they're paid legally and appropriately, and that there's proper insurance in place for the folks that want it. And so this policy does that. You know, I've worked on this with Jen and with Hannah, and we all feel that it's necessary and appropriate. I've also talked with Teresa about it, so we're covering all the bases, no pun intended, on this one, because there was a lot of animosity. There were folks that were saying that we were trying to steal from them and cheat things, and we had shady finances, and it was just a lot of bad information out there. So I wanted to put everything in writing, crystal clear as we could, when it came to the financial side of this, and the goal of making sure that youth umpires and game officials are giving the proper attention and deference they should be, because they are more susceptible to things than the adults in many ways, and labor law recognizes that. The other side of this is just making sure that we have communication that will help prevent something like what happened this spring from happening again. And that comes from having a pre-season meeting, and having the umpires and the referees attend and meet the coaches before the season starts, understand what the rules are if there have been any changes. That would be more coming from the referees going to the coaches, but perhaps. So just having that communication to avoid conflict, and to establish expectations for behavior and what's going to happen if A, B, or C happens at a game. That has not been happening. Things have been kind of coming in loose. But what it also does is it gives them a chance to, a couple weeks before the season starts, to fill out the paperwork. Whatever it is, whether they're working as an employee or an independent contractor or just volunteering. Because we want to make sure that even if someone's volunteering, they're getting a background check if they're an adult. And if they're an independent contractor, we want to make sure they're getting that background check as well if they're of an appropriate age to do that. So we're rolling a whole bunch of things into one policy, but the scope and the focus really are on the game officials, and making sure that that whole program works for our youth and for our rec sports program. So that's that.
Anyone have any questions for Eric?
Yep. So the first one is a spelling error.
Okay, I thought I got all those, but,
It is in the second paragraph at the end, the attached chart.
oh.
Should be
okay,
chart.
Sorry, yep.
And then I have a question about something that, what you're actually looking for. It says, under volunteer officials and employee officials, volunteering is the preferred way to participate as a youth sports official. The next one says, employees of the town generally receive general liability and workers' comp coverage. For this reason, it is recommended that all officials, and particularly youth officials, engage in this way. So you said volunteering is preferred, but you recommend that everyone engages as an employee. So to me, those are in disagreement.
They are to some extent.
So we need to rephrase something there so they
Yeah.
agree.
So volunteering is preferred because it gives everybody the cleanest path to community service, right? And to, and this, if you want, you know, I guess I would like some board direction on what would be your preferred option. Volunteering is simpler for everybody. But if you're looking at it from the perspective of how do we do the best we can for those that are contributing, then serving as an employee is much preferable to being an independent contractor. And I'd say to some extent, more preferable to
Well, I think
being a
I would say
volunteer.
then, I think you should say it just like that.
Yeah, okay.
Being an employee is more preferred than being an independent contractor, is how I heard you say that.
So just at the end of that, it is then particularly youth officials engage in this way rather than as an independent contractor.
Yeah. That works for me. I know
Right.
what you were getting at as well, so that.
Right, it sounded like you should volunteer, but wait a minute, no, really, we want you to be an employee.
Yeah.
So I get that. And
So
maybe
you
put in
would rather
something,
have the employees.
yeah, and maybe put in something under volunteer about the community service piece. Volunteering is the preferred way to participate as a youth sports official as it allows for community service.
Yeah,
Something-
I'll wordsmith it.
Something to that
Just
effect.
take the preferred part out. That would solve it. If you just put preferred in that. and-
Yeah, I actually like that too. Volunteering as a way to participate as a youth sports official, providing opportunities to provide community service. or
Yeah,
something.
take out the
Take out
preferred.
the preferred.
Yeah.
part of
no,
that.
Then it's not contradictory.
That's very good.
No, I like that. Yep. It's too bad we have to spell it out like this. It seems to me that we've been going around with this for
Well-
like 10 years with officials. Like you can't just get paid out of somebody's pocket or personal checking account and, you know, just come ask Teresa for the money to give them back. And it's like, come on, you guys. So maybe this will solve the problem. And I love the idea that you're just going to pay everybody to come to the meeting like it's a game. And I assume if you don't show up, you don't get hired.
Well, we did put in an alternative there, you know, a program approved by the program coordinator, so that if they wanted to watch a video recording or have a half-hour conversation with Jen and review the rules and talk about who's coaching what and how they're going to communicate, all that stuff, then that would be acceptable. So we're not trying to make barriers, we're just trying to make better results.
Seems like a lot of work to provide the alternative.
Why we don't get 1,000 people show up at the meeting?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I think that it's gonna be up to Jen's discretion whether or not she wants to or will do something like that. And that's why I left it up to her to
Yep.
make that decision.
Yep, okay. That all sounds good. So do we want a second reading with the revisions made?
Yes.
Do we need to make a motion?
No, we're good.
Cool.
I'll bring it back with those
It's only
changes.
7:18.
26-104, I would like to consider 2 special event catering licenses for Pizza Pie on the Fly. A good name.
It is a good name. The process here has changed. As you're aware, the state is really stripping down the regulation in this area. And they've also had some technology issues. I had to call them and ask like why the name was missing, and there was information that was in the wrong spot. They just said it's a bug in their system. And so they explained that. If you notice, there's missing information. They also said that they do not require qualified contractors who are providing indoor services to offer maps or any kind of facility layout. So if you notice that difference as well, that's the reason for that. So basically, the state is kind of stepping back and saying that they have, less stringent criteria to get these licenses. And so that's why this looks different than what you've seen in the past, in addition to this coming through their online portal, which is also different. It's not the same form you're used to seeing. So after calling them, they confirmed everything is here. So I see no reason not to approve both of these, because basically the state has rolled back what they expect.
So it's for 2 nights, Friday, July 3rd and Saturday, July 4th.
You have 2 different locations as well. One is at the former Girl
Manitoba.
Scout camp, and one's at
Kent's Hill.
Kent's Hill, yeah.
I'd entertain a motion to approve both licenses as presented.
So moved.
Second, with the amendment that we waive any public hearing requirements.
Thank you for that, Jared.
I have a motion and a second with an amendment. Anyone like to second the amendment?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? That is unanimous. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? Mal seconds. All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you, everybody.
All right. I'll see most of you guys tomorrow. Thank you for the cake, Catherine. It's delicious.